Hello, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good. Wow, so many of you. I see so many new faces. Hello, everybody. My name is Lionel. I'm going to introduce you to some of my friends and colleagues, right? Today we're going to have a very fun time. How many of you, this is your first time here at City Music? Oh, very little actually. Okay, how many of you first time attending an event here at City Music? Oh, wow, that's a lot. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope this is your first and also not your last, okay? So today we have a very special event. We're going to be Keys for Worship 2026. When they put in 2026, that means they may have a 2027. I don't know. I'm just saying. Right. Good. Cool. Right. So let's kick this off, right? So before we start our workshop, I'd like to invite our Director for Sales, Mr. Ho Ying Long, to just give you guys a short address. Hang on. Give a round of applause for Mr. Ho Ying Long.
Thanks, Lionel. I wasn't part of the original plan, but I've been arrowed to come and say something. So, wow, what have we here? This is our first time doing this. This is something very special that our team, especially Mike, which you're going to see a lot of him later. This is something that he has always wanted to do for the keyboard community here, and especially for, because we've always been working with a lot of the worship keyboardists and worship organizations like you guys here. So we really appreciate you guys coming down here, and also hope this can be a very fun and engaging networking session for you all to connect with other like-minded keyboardists and music lovers here, and do make connections, make friends. Of course, we have some good deals. You can check it out later. And I don't want to hold the show. Can I pass it back to Lionel?
Thank you.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the evening. All right.
Thank you. Okay, so now this guy I want to introduce next. You'll be seeing him pretty much a lot for tonight. He's very famous. He's a very famous guy actually, but very low key. So you hear NDP songs, yeah, he's the guy. You watch advertisements on TV last time, yes, he's the guy. You hear jingles on radio, yes, he's the guy too. He's our one-man band. He's our keyboard professional here, right? He's also one of the longest-serving City Music staff here at City Music. So everybody give a big round of applause for Mike. Mike. Hey! I have to butter you nice first, bro.
I'm nervous already. Oh, no. I was about to, I already started just now the rehearsal. Oh, nicely done. No, like that, I'm nervous. No, Anyway, good evening, everybody. My name is Mike. And I'm very happy today that we have this event. This is our debut. We had one several years back where we did the Sound of Worship way back in Peace Center. So this is a bit different, because we wanted to have this keyboard. One of our biggest buyer for Koch keyboards since day one. I've been with City Music more than 30 years. And that's where I know Jonathan Koh. Right from the very beginning when I started working at City Music, he was one of our so-called loyal customer to today. And recently he actually bought our Nautilus also, and a grand stage. Okay, so that's where we thought okay, why not we gather all the amazing musicians and friends to join us. Okay. If you're all ready, then we shall start. We shall begin. Are you ready, guys? Shall we? Let's go. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Lynette Lee.
Join me together as we just worship the Lord tonight.
We worship the God who was. We worship the God who is. We worship the God who always ever be. He opened the prison doors. He parted the raging seas. My God, He holds the victory. Yeah. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. We sing to the God who heals. We sing to the God who saves. We sing to the God who always makes a way. 'Cause He hung up on that cross and He rose up from that grave. My God, still rolling stones away. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We are forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We are forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. Yeah. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Oh, oh, oh. 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 We shout out your praise. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Once again, put your hands together for Lynette Lee. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to bring a little change here. Well, get ready. You're gonna. How you like that song? Okay, so I'll just share a little bit before you're going to set up the panel discussion over here. I'm sure when we receive the registration, we have all the questions and all that stuff. We will try to answer that. Especially all the panels. I'll try to throw the questions to them as much as possible. And if you do have any other questions also, you please let us know so we can get the panel to help you with the questions, okay? Meanwhile, okay. Whatever you heard just now was just with my laptop going straight to the chronos. no other keyboard, and most of the sounds are actually taken from the Kronos, actually. Only the guitar was live. I recorded live electric guitars. The rest are mostly from Kronos, and only the drums I use the Contact Native Instrument drum session. So the rest are all basically, nothing is live. It's all recorded from a software. And if you want to know more, let me know. I can share with you how I did it within 2 hours. So yeah, so this is the Kronos. It's an amazing tool because it has an audio interface, MIDI interface, and many more which I'm going to share with you later after the panel, okay? So, yeah. Oh, good. Anyway, okay, put your hand together for my team here, City Music team. Thank you very much. It's a great effort from everybody, right from my admin, from our sales team, so our marketing team, and logistics, and many more. We have an amazing team, by the way. Yeah, so we have all the people behind. You can see the sound engineers. All basically we pakai all our own people. Yeah, save cost. I'm just kidding. Okay, are we all ready? I would like to invite one of my oldest friend I know since day one. Yeah, let's put your hands together for Mr. Jonathan Koh. Thanks, John. Thanks for being here with us. Okay, next, put your hand together for Imedla Quek from Faith Methodist Church. Also very old friend. Yeah, another, our regular customers. Okay, next we have Mr. T.K. Teo. Put your hand together for Mr. T.K. Teo. He's a worship leader, music director at Paya Lebar Chinese Methodist Church. And last but not least, let's put your hand together for Patricia Cheow. Okay, she's a legend. No? She plays the, what you call that? The church organ. Wow, I got to sit here. Okay. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for being here with us. So, yeah, I'm sorry because we not enough microphones, so just share for one. Yeah, can I say. So, yes. So we have about a total about 100 registration. This registration also allow us to actually, ask questions, and we have a lot of beautiful questions they want to know. But before that, I'll just, on my side, I also need to ask you some questions. Okay. Now the first question is the music journey. Okay. I'll go with John first. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how about your musical journey begin.
Okay. I've been in the church ministry for 35 years now. Started off as a wannabe keyboardist, and then I've slowly progressed to be a worship pastor of my church. And I'm still pastoring my current church in Lighthouse Evangelism at the moment as a worship pastor.
Oh. How about Imedla? Maybe share a little bit, short story about yourself, how you started, and where you are right now.
I've been serving as a volunteer at Faith Methodist Church for 20-something over years. I don't want to mention age. I started off as serving as a keyboardist, and then I slowly progressed to playing, out of necessity, playing guitars, and then and also MDing in the worship team as well.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, thank you, Imedla. How about TK?
Hello everyone, I'm TK. I'm the youngest of everyone here. So, but when it comes to experience, I think I'm very happy to be with people like Pastor John, with Imedla and Patricia as well. My experience anywhere near theirs. I've only been serving for maybe 15 years since I was a teenager. And started as a keyboardist, and basically right now, I think by the grace of God, I'm teaching, running an online worship keyboard program, and also teaching at MSM at Imedla School of Music, and also starting my seminary studies next year as well. So yeah, the entire journey has been pretty cool.
Beautiful. How about Patricia?
Hi everyone, my name is Patricia. So I started, first of all, I'm a music educator. I teach the piano. As for church music, I started as a church musician at the age of 13. So it's been how many years? Say 35 years, but I'm really more retired, not really playing in Singapore now. I played the church organ. So it's just a console with 2 or 3 manuals with the pedals. And for the real pipe organ, I actually traveled out of Singapore to play it. So I played at Canada, in Toronto and Quebec City, just for a one-off where I will meet the other organists as well to exchange ideas and to learn a little bit more.
How do you get the opportunity to play the real church organ?
I emailed the organist in charge before I make the trip. And when they reply, then I will ask, can we have a lesson?
Oh, so you went for a lesson first before you actually played the actual thing?
No, I've already played in Singapore in church, so it's the same console. A console is the machine where you work with the pedals. It's full 2.5 octave where your leg has to play C, C sharp, D, D sharp and all. Right. And the pedals, so I already have my base in the Singapore churches.
Were you nervous when you started playing the first organ,
in
down
Singapore?
There, even in overseas?
In overseas, yes, definitely more nervous because it's the real thing and the sound comes out from the pipes, not from the speakers. So the pipes will be blasting at me, it's so loud.
Wow. Yeah. So that was a very good experience for you.
It is one of a kind, and every pipe organ is different.
Do you miss playing that?
Of course.
Okay, now looking back over the past 20, 30 years, let's go there, how the worship music has changed. Example, songwriting, worship styles, and even the expectations on technologies on this. Let's put this question to John. How does it change? You've been in this industry for so long. How much from the back then until today has changed so much?
Oh, I think it has changed tremendously. If you go back all the way in the 1970s, music was just re-entering into church. Literally, most churches don't even have bands during that time, and less to say drums. So all you have is a piano for a start, and the pianist is the king of the church, literally. Everybody looks up to the pianist. The pianists don't turn up. That is it. So slowly, I think the progression of what we've seen today, we're really blessed in Singapore to have churches with music, worship team, bands, IEMs, electric guitar. This is like a dream come true, literally, if you live past those years. Yeah.
So we already spoiled for choices.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, let's take about TK because he's the youngest. What do you think? You are already into it right now, and what do you think of the current technology that you are already into it now?
I think the technology has been changing a lot. I think if you are a keyboardist, which I assume most of you are keyboardists, you all have been exposed to different tools. We should talk a bit more about it later. But to me, there were very limited years I had when we were just using the stock sounds on its own, right? Because especially in this day and age, we have access to all these VSTs and all these DAWs and all these kind of things. We are even more spoiled for choices now because within the whole keyboard ecosystem, we have so many more things to play with, so many more styles. And last time, it was used to be very simple kind of songs, right? Songs by Don Moen, songs by people of his generation usually are quite easy to play and easy to sing hymns, songs. But nowadays you have people like Forrest Frank, you have people like all these different kind of artists, Elevation and all this. So the technicals, I also feel that it has also one-upped its NT a little bit as well. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about people who actually play this keyboard back then, maybe 20, 30 years ago, and they because we have to move forward to actually understand all these IEMs and all these synthesizers, the sounds has changed, there's so much beautiful patch structures and textures and all that stuff. But what happened to those actually who played back then 20, 30 years ago and they just, the conventional players, what happened to them? They just, this is too advanced for me and I'll just going to be like not playing in the church anymore? Do you think that, Imedla, I'm going to throw this question at you because you've been, I can see your progressive changes in, not only playing as a keyboard player, but also multi-instrumentalist. You play guitars and many other instruments. So what do you think?
I think the worship styles of music has changed quite a bit over the last 30 years. Maybe in the 1980s, 1990s, it's more piano-driven, but in the 2000s, it started being very, very electric guitar-driven. So I find that you notice that the likes of Lincoln Brewster and all those songs, then you have all the electric guitars all the intros being done by electric guitars, all the ad-libs being done by electric guitars. Then slowly in the year, maybe 2010s onwards, then we started to see more ambient sounds coming into the picture. So second key suddenly took a lot more prominence. Guitars also started to add in the ambient sound as well to add to the whole soundscape of the worship.
Okay. How about Patricia? See, because you're different from the rest who actually still currently doing current songs and the current technology and sounds and stuff like that. What do you think about moving forward to those sounds and music and many more? What do you think?
Oh, I think having a different kind of a library of sounds is very important because it has to fit the music. Every piece of music has its own style and it requires different instrumentation. So I wouldn't say, okay, we use one kind of sound for every song. That will kill the whole spirit and it isn't also uplifting.
Okay. My next question. Okay, so I'm going to take later on some of this question that basically probably you so-called as giving the question to us the other day. So we're just going to put that question as well. But before that, some questions also I'm going to prepare for you. For example, okay, many of us actually use chord keyboards. I'm going to go this, I'm going to soft sell a bit. Okay, so many of us have used chord keyboards over the years, especially John, Milda. And can each of you share your experience with chord, how they actually supported your ministry?
Okay, the first time I got exposed to chord keyboard was the M1. That was breakthrough, sound. M1 has what I was looking for all this while was something that has in the past we call it fat sounds, and chord was one of those keyboard has that advanced integration with the AI. I don't know, AI then was advanced integration. That was a sample technology together with synthesis combined together. It was a breakthrough. No other company no other keyboard had that kind of sound, and that really brings a lot to the worship itself because when you support on the second keys, you want the sound to be rich and you want it to be enveloping and all those things. And that sound from M1 was really able to give it fantastic sound in the combination even with some of the percussion that can even be layered over. So these are technologies that during that time was suddenly a breakthrough. That was something very beautiful about chord keyboard. Yeah.
Thanks, John. How about Imedla? Share a bit of your journey with chord.
Yeah. So I started off using chord keyboards as well. Our church we are blessed. We have about 7 locations where we either use as practice locations or service. And we realized that over the years, we have actually always used chord keyboards in almost all these locations as the second keys. Largely, okay, also because I'm also I kind of help the church to also buy instruments, and we find that the chord keyboard actually is very user-friendly, much more user-friendly than, let's say, the other brands. And over the years, we have really enjoyed for example, like Chord Extreme Triton. That's one of my favorite keyboards that I've used so far. And the sounds were very rich, and we always find the samples of the sound in the chord for second keys very usable for worship. And till now, even though it's past 20 years, the workstation is still there in our church and we're still using it.
Yes.
although to be very honest, not right now. I mean, of course, all the churches now are moving more towards using MIDI keyboards. But for those people who have not progressed to using, let's say, the MIDI sounds, then then these keyboards have actually been very helpful. And every chord keyboard is very easy to use because it's always combi programmed, and then you have the touch screen there. So.
Okay. Nice, thank you so much, Imedla. Now, talking about sounds, you're talking about like the chord sounds and all that, and then we move into software, MIDI controller and stuff like that. Before we go there, let's talk about Nord. I don't deny that it has actually dominated the market for worship music. I'm not comparing it to blah blah and to the Nord, but so on. But how do you portray the Nord in comparison to Koh when doing your worship songs?
Okay, so at least for our church, we use the Koh keyboard mainly as main piano sounds, whereas we use the Koh mainly for as second synth. So that's how we always We have tried other keyboards as well. Actually, before we buy any keyboard, we actually go around to all the other brands to try them out, try the usability, the feasibility, the sounds and everything. And so far, we have always come back to Koh as second keys, and we use the Nord for main keys.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is to TK. Now, we know that, like Imedla said, many of us actually use MIDI controllers with software and iPad and stuff like that. Now, how does this actually, and how does this basically a game changer for people who plays a keyboard? It's like, wow, I didn't know there's this iPad thing and I don't have to worry about this keyboard. So in the end, I also cannot sell my keyboards really. So what do you think, will this iPad controller dominate the market, and then all these workstations will just slowly diminishing? What do you think?
I think the matter of fact is that it has already dominated the market, right? I think a lot of churches, especially those a bit more advanced, like Lighthouse, all these cornerstone churches, a lot of them are already on this kind of like VSTs and DAWs. So the reason why there are so many people who like to use these kind of things, I can think of two reasons, right? Number one is because of budget. You don't need to buy a very expensive keyboard. You can buy a $300 controller. You do a subscription to Sunday Sounds. You can have like $100 a year. You just get access to like thousands and thousands of sounds. Then the other group of people, including myself, I do see that there's a space where there's an intersection, right, between these two. So for example, personally, I play on Yamaha keyboards, and I also play on the Koh, which I'll talk a bit more about later. And how I use Sunday Sounds is that I actually have a partnership with Sunday Sounds, with the guys from Sunday Sounds. And one of the things that allowed us to really have the best of both worlds is to connect as an external instrument, right? So that we can have access to the internal sounds, but as well as the same time, we can still get access to like the Sunday sounds. So I do see that there's an intersection where both the VST sounds also can be enhanced together with the already legacy sounds that we see, for example, on the chorus. Yeah. Okay.
So now it's to Patricia. Now you see this so much changes, and if we discussed this now, from the conventional synthesizers, from piano to synthesizers, and now moving into iPad and MIDI controller. It's giving you the chance to actually, play a worship in the worship Sunday service, for example. Do you think that you will be able to actually handle, the iPad thing instantly, or do you need some training? Do you think it's necessary to have like a workshop and stuff like that for people who actually, for example, if you're already 20, 30 years already not playing such, technology and stuff like that. Do you think we should have like a workshop or a training for people who wants to learn the new modern ways of making music or in the band?
Yes, I think that will be necessary, especially for musicians who have not touched. I mean, there's such a variety, right? So many options. You want an iPad, you want this, you want that. Training is definitely necessary before you can launch any music program in the church.
Okay, right. So now, because this is where I'm going to lead to these questions that basically you guys are actually, wanted to ask the panels, for example. Okay, how much do we keep up the modern sounds while preserving the essence of the worship? Maybe I should send that question to John. What do you think, John? How much do we keep up the modern sounds while preserving the essence of the worship?
The modern sounds are actually doable with still the current keyboard. It doesn't eliminate. It's just that the problem I guess most churches would have, or musicians, keyboardists, is that you can't borrow the church keyboard home. So you have to go to the church in order to go and work on it. So you have to find time to that. For soft synths, you can do it at home. You can do it over your computer. So that's the advantage. But anything else, I personally would like, because I have the time back in my own access to the keyboard. So usually I'll work on the keyboard rather than work on soft synth. So that's my comfort ground, literally. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, John. Okay, there are hundreds of sounds on this. What you call that? You can find from, let's say, the Sunday keys and many more. But there are too many. How do you find the sound? It's point for choices. How this question is from our audience here. So how do you really find the sound? And because if not, it's point for choices. Like I'm going to choose this, and like that's not the one. And keep changing and maybe TK can share. How do you actually find the sound?
I think see the reaction of the people that you. Just kidding. So I think when it comes to different sounds, what helps for me is that I tend to have this rule: if within 3 seconds I don't feel it, I just move on to the next patch, right? So how Sunday Sounds work is that it's a subscription. So every month you get like 5 new sounds from David, or every year if you're on the Ultimate license, you get a few sounds as well. So usually I will always pan out to, let's say for example, I have 4 main categories. I also always have my synths, I'll have my pads, I'll have my strings, I'll have my bells or chimes, for example. So what I'll do every few months or so is that I will find out what is the best sounds I can find for each of the category. A sound I define as the best would be a sound that can be used for a wide range of songs, which means that all I need to play with would be like, for example, the low pass filter or the high pass filter when it comes to the synths that I can use for Joy of House of the Lord, or I can use for This Amazing Grace, for different songs like that. So the idea here is to not be so overwhelmed, but to really know what kind of sound profiles you want, and just work your way from there. Then that kind of helps you, select the sounds more thoughtfully from there.
Okay. Now, this is going to share this question, next question to Patricia. You've been playing for more than 30 years of keyboard. So this is basically one of the questions is how to improve my keyboard skills and learning practical accompaniment techniques that I can use in my church.
Wow, that's a difficult one. Can you repeat one more time?
Sorry. Okay, sorry. How to improve my keyboard skills, or my piano skills, and learning practical accompaniment techniques that I can use in my church.
Okay, maybe start off with hymns or the songs which has very simple chord progressions. Okay, if you're going from the primary chords, then work on them first and then decide which chords you want to change for a better sound, a better color. You have to experiment. Upon experimenting and you like it, okay, repeat the process again, record it, listen to it again until you approve it.
Sounds good. Thanks, Patricia. Okay, we got 1 or 2 more questions before we end it. If you still have doubts, don't worry. They're still going to be here mingling with us here. So later on, you can still ask questions to John, Imedla, TK, and Patricia. Okay, my last question is, okay, I don't know which one. There's just too many, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to choose one. Okay, what is your prep process like for a typical worship set? From receiving the set list, preparation or part, choosing the patches. How do you prep your worship set? Yeah. So John, maybe you can share how usually you prep your sets for worship.
Okay, so start off when you receive the set list. The first thing is to go listen to the song. Everybody knows that. When you hear the song, you look out for all the second key parts that is being played. You ought to probably, number one, have already got a set of libraries of sound that I will keep for myself. I will store it in my own playlist. Then I will use them firstly to try it out if they're suitable for that song itself. When it's suitable, then of course I'll use it. If it's not suitable, need some tweaking, I'll just go to the sound that's relevant to it in the category to choose and find which is the nearest. and then do some minor tweaking if I need to, whether it's on the release, the decay, or whatever thing that or oscillation, just to tweak it a little bit, just to sound close to the actual sound. Yeah. Then, if need to, of course, moving scene arpeggios, triggering the arpeggios, know when to trigger it, and that really helps in preparation. So once you got that set list, the keyboard has that storage of your playlist. I'll store that inside my playlist, and then when the song comes, I'll just move on from one song to another and call that song out. Sometimes need to, you split your keyboards to the various sections because one song may have 3 sounds that you need to play. Do it on the bells on the higher end. Usually that's why I put pads on the lower end, and then if there's any like brass or strings, I'll put it right in the middle. So that kind of speed up the keyboard for me to be able to activate 3 sounds at one go. Yeah.
Sounds good. I think it's a very fruitful explanation from John. Okay, let's go for, before I go to my final question, I just want to ask you, because John also shared with me, like most of the aux keyboard, the second keyboard usually get very, very underrated. Playing only like pads, and then it's always usually the piano player always get the limelight lah, show off kind of thing. I mean, that's normal for even normal band. But actually, John shared with me, hey Mike, do you know that the aux keyboards are actually very important sounds, and they play a very important role in the band. Maybe Imedla, you can share why is the auxiliary keyboardist important as well?
Actually, the second keyboardist is a very versatile instrument because you can actually play many different types of instruments on it. So sometimes it also helps to bring in the ambience, like when the emotions of the song, right? When it helps to build up, if you actually add in string layers, you add in the pads, then that helps to swell in with the song. Whereas when the song comes down a little bit, then you pull back all the other sounds as well. We also use the second keys as, let's say, because our band sometimes is very small. Last time we used to only play with, let's say, 4-piece band. We have a drums, bass, electric guitar, and just 1 keys, right? So the electric guitar can't possibly do all the lines and all the chomping as well. So we make use of the second keys to also play the lead lines, while the electric guitar then is free to do the chomping, which is a bit harder for the second keys to do in a sense.
So I think very much like everybody has to play their own parts, covering, what's missing and all that as well. So TK, what do you think, TK? Maybe you can share your thoughts as well.
I personally enjoy playing second keys more than first keys, actually. Because when I play on second keys, I feel like there's a lot more things I can explore, a lot more things. For piano, you just need to have a nice piano sound, right? And some nice riffs in there. But for second keys, it opens up a lot more things. So I always see like second keys as like, how Christmas tree, you have like fairy lights. So I always see them as like the fairy lights. Without the fairy lights, I think the tree will just look any other tree, right? But with the right tasteful way of playing, it will really make the whole worship sound really, really good. So yes, it was funny because yesterday I just posted a video on my Instagram, right? I did a video on creating that worship sound, and I was just asking my followers like, what is the sound of the worship keyboard? And almost 100% of them say that it's the pad sound. Right, so that has been already defined by the Christian community that is the sound of worship, right? And I think that's something that we should also put a lot more emphasis on, especially on the second keys. And that goes back to the previous question of prepping the set to also know who are you playing with in a band, because who you don't have in a band will determine what more you need to play on the second keys. So which we can hear from the band later. You can hear how everything is put together. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So. I'm going to share with my last question, and basically for those who actually, as I mentioned again, I know you have a lot more questions over here. I can't see because the time is running out. So generally, if you have any questions, you can go directly to John, Imedla, TK, and Patricia herself. But my last question is maybe you can share with the audience a little bit of inspiring messages or advice for the audience or the keyboard players. What maybe you can share with them for those who actually maybe interested in becoming the modern church keyboardist, or maybe they already are, and maybe an advice for them as well. John, maybe you can start with yourself first, John.
keep on growing, because there are so much variety that the second keys can do. Never think that the second keys is a second key, okay? Because a lot of sound are really generated, a lot of emotions are being generated in worship by the second keys. If you're in the Chinese worship team, one of the keyboard that really can help you is the P50. Is it P50? Yeah, the P50 has all the sampled sounds of the Chinese instrument inside.
That's the PA.
PA30.
600.
600, okay. PA600, Singapore-owned keyboard. They actually sampled all the beautiful local instrument sounds inside, like the guzheng, hu, even with all the kinds of sounds that you actually, these days, if you're into Chinese worship music, they're using a lot of ethnic sounds that blends in, and that keyboard can actually be very useful in terms of how that sound articulate the produce the sound when you really use it well. So keep growing, never stop growing, and enjoying your second keys. Yeah.
Thank you, John. So if you want to know more about the PA600 I mentioned, so it goes along the PA600, PA900, PA1000, as well as the PA5X. So it's proudly to say that it's done by us, City Music, and it's made in Singapore. The musicians that play these Chinese instruments are local musicians, so to support our local as well. So that's basically our, soft sell, John. So that's our Ranger keyboard, which generally we're going to be showcased by Mr. Victor later on. So anyway, also maybe some nice, inspiring words to the keyboard players. Imelda?
Well, actually, it's a very long story, but I shall keep it very short. When I first started, I was a terrible keyboardist. I'm not saying that I'm very, very good now, but it's just never give up. So keep trying. What I found helpful was also to listen to the songs, and then you see how they play in the music, and we actually try to learn from those lines, those string lines, those whatever. You just try to see how you can replicate it, and you realize that actually different instruments that you play on the second keys, you have to play based on different touches and all that to be able to achieve the same, to be able to achieve the effect. Yeah. So don't give up trying.
Do you think by having proper basic fundamental in music is important to play in the worship?
Yes, I think as with all instruments, fundamentals for learning the keyboard is very important, definitely, so that you can then be free to express yourself and be able to, not focus on, I'm playing G, C, D, whatever, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Imelda. TK?
Practice your skills, master all 12 major skills, that really helps. But to also provide a not so technical sharing, more theologically, I feel like second keyboardist, as with any other instrument, I think there's power in preparation. We are Levites. We are all called to be the worship musicians, the warriors. So I think there is power in preparation. There's power in honoring the team, honoring God with the skills. So don't take, even as a second keyboardist, if you're just playing the 1 and the 5 for an entire song, there is power in that 1 and 5. So don't take your role lightly, even as a second keyboardist.
Okay, thank you, TK. So, but Patricia, I'm going to ask you this question. Other than basically, maybe inspiring words to the audience, you have a long experience in teaching. So we discussed just now that you need, of course, fundamental and all that. So maybe you can share, or maybe you can, advise our audience what they should do on, whether. What should they do in terms of, like, say, music? Whether how do they go and learn, or what they should do to learn, in order for them to understand music theory and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, that one is a music educator's question. Well, okay, to learn music, you really have to. If you're a total beginner, you really have to start from scratch. Yeah, get a teacher, get the books in, and really have a lot of patience. Don't give up at the first, second lessons. Adults can also learn. I've taught adults before. So your fingers might move a little slower than little children's, but you have 10 fingers. You got to remember they are like 10 little legs. That's what I would say. And you have to coordinate them. They are not going to auto-coordinate on their own, right? As for beginning musicians in the church, don't be afraid. I used to be very scared. After playing for one full service, my hands will be sweaty, and I'm half deaf because the organ makes the sound for 1 hour. But don't give up. Just keep going. Every session will just get better. And remember, your ears are your biggest asset. Keep listening, and keep listening to better musicians.
That's a nice advice to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for John, Imedla, TK, and Patricia, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, John, Imedla, TK, and Patricia, for having here with us and sharing. Thank you so much. It's a very fruitful, sharing. Once again, round of applause for them. Thank you. Okay, so today, because I'm going to share with you also the, we have questions that just like you mentioned. Oh, okay, so the workstations or the keyboards are basically, it's going to be like so-called dominated by the iPad and MIDI controller. So I'm going to show you basically what or how these keyboards actually can integrate with your Sunday keys or your main stage and many more. So if you are using that, not to worry, because for those like, okay, maybe the main stage or so-called the Sunday sounds on the iPads may be a little bit too, you need to understand the language of computer and then the MIDI connections and audio connections, so don't worry. So this keyboard basically allows you to do both, just in case you may need to use in the church and then, I have this Kronos in the church, or for example, or you have other keyboards in the church, how you can actually integrate these rather than buying a MIDI controller and so on. This will really help you to get, up and running. So today I'm going to share with you this called Kronos 3. This is the new, just launched Kronos 3. So I'm going to share with you what's so special about this Kronos 3. I'm not going to hard sell you. I'm going to share with you basically what this feature is all about, so you can understand how this can help, making possible for your Sunday, sounds. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is, can we move to the PowerPoint first? Sorry. So I probably need to toggle these actually. So that's on the screen. So I'll just do this first. Later I can then show you. Okay, so I'm going to show you today is the how this can actually integrate with the Kronos 3, the Nautilus, and the Cross 2. So these are basically what we call the auxiliary keyboards, and aux keyboard, the so-called second keyboard sounds. But the Kronos also allows you to do more things. Just to share with you. So the new Kronos 3 has a lot more features. You can also use these as your main piano. If this is the 88 keys. If you don't want to say, okay, I basically don't want anything else, but just want pianos. So it has all the amazing piano sounds inside the Kronos 3. So if you look at it, it has 9 engines altogether. And most keyboards that you come in the market, it has one engine that is shared with so many sounds, like strings and all that, blah, 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 and many more. So this Kronos 3 has 9 engines and work independently. That means, if you're not sure, you let me know. There's this thing called polyphony. The moment you press, you hear sounds like pads. Okay, this is piano. And then you have, okay, so you have strings. The moment you put the strings, okay, now I got 10 fingers, I play with all my 10 fingers. The moment you put strings, it becomes 20 polyphony. The moment you put the third instrument, it becomes 30 polyphony. And most of the keyboard, you will see some of the specs on other brands and many more. They will tell you 128 or 256 polyphony, and that's it. The moment you add a lot of instruments, you will get choked, and you don't hear all the sounds very evenly. Look at this. Beautiful, it's only 2 sounds. Okay, bring it, next one. Amazing, right? So these are the sounds that basically independent engine. So you don't have to worry about having the sounds like this. You'll see the sounds very wide open. So that's the magic of Kronos 3. Okay, so let's move on to the... Okay. So there's all these engines we're going to cover later on. And it has factory sounds. These are the new features. If you have the old Kronos 2, So this new Kronos tree has a lot more sampled sounds. We have beautiful sounds. And like Italian pianos, I'm going to show you this few of the piano sounds. So this is the Italian piano on itself. If you can see the screen, right, you can see that the piano allows you to close the cover. So I'm going to show you this. So this is the open lid. And so it sounds a bit more muffled because it's closed. See, it sounds very, very, like as if, the piano cover is closed. And you can hear every detail of your hammer and all that. So it's very, very complex. Which basically, of course, you need to buy, if you are using, let's say, soft synth, you need to buy a very good quality piano samples like Ivory and many more to get that kind of nuances. See, so these are designed truly for the Kronos, the new Kronos tree. And okay, sorry, move on again. Okay, there are other sounds, the pads and many more. What I have done with this keyboard, basically, I've actually segregated the sounds. So I've categorized the sound nicely. Because, again, we always have church musicians that come to us and say, Mike, I want to buy this keyboard, but the selection of choice, or we're spoiled for choices. You've got so many strings, we've got so many sounds and all that, and how to find. So generally what we have done here, this is also based on our expertise from people who actually came to us and asked for help and many more. We actually gathered the sounds together to form a category. They call it the worship sounds. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what basically we have actually put together the sounds. Okay. So this is the grand piano. And then we have also, if you like, sometimes when you play fast songs, you need a bit of cut-through sound like this. So it's this brighter sounding, cut-through piano sound, especially for fast song. That kind of stuff, And then we have also like something more ambient. And all these are made in one sound. That means there's no layering at all. Just pure one sounds. Okay, so later on I'm going to show you how to layer this. So you must find the first important sound, which is your organic sound. Now, first important sound, like for example now is the piano, right? Okay, and then we have Rhodes. So different kind of electric piano, like example the DX7. Okay. And then we have also like pads with the DX7. This is again is no layering, but an organic sound is sound that contains two sound. Okay, and then we have like pads. So it's a very important sound pads. So you can see I'm going through this set list, which I already done. I can scroll, I can just touch screen, and it has a 9-inch touch screen. And also, when I move to the next sound, it will not cut off. So let's say I'm going back to the piano. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to move to the next pad sound, for example. Okay. So you can do that as well, but just by changing the two knobs, which is the resonance. And then we have a lot of different pads. So now we can see the sounds behind it. Hear that? It's called the shimmer. We have the motions. A lot of sounds like that. If you like the kind of texture sounds, there are hundreds of those texture sounds that you can find. And strings. So this is the warm strings. There you go, a full string. Chamber strings. Okay, and also we have the orchestra string. Thank you. Actually, that's the only song I can play. Just kidding. We can talk, We can talk later. Okay, let's move on to the organ sounds. So another very important sounds in the worship, the organ. It's very known that the organ sound requires like okay, so that's the drawbar. So we have a very nice drawbar organ, full organ. All right. Sometimes I have to do this so that you can understand what I'm doing. Like, hey, what is that? I was like, okay. So it's the rotary speakers or the Leslie organ sound that you can hear. Okay. So we have also the, let's say the typical organ sounds. And then we have the lead sounds, for example, like this. That is also very important sound among the younger or the modern church players. Some lead sound. And all this can be tweaked. Okay, analogs in. So you want to do that. Okay, these are basically they call it the motion synth, that you can actually adjust the speed according to your the tempo of the band. I mean the song itself. So there are a lot of these kind of sounds as well. Yeah, I'm going to show you a bit more the atmosphere. And it also has this drum. You can add all that as well. And then textures. Motion sound. The other thing I realized, a few of my friends who are playing in the church, like Trinity Christian Center, they like to create their own songs. And this amazing thing about these kind of arpeggiators, right, actually inspire you to write songs by just listening, like. It just, comes the idea of writing the songs. Okay, so I cannot chase out already. But anyway, okay, I'm going to show you a bit more. So I'm going to show you the other sounds. So these are available under the Sunday sounds that we have created for you. For those who actually has already a Chronos tree or Chronos, so we can also share with you these sounds for free. So, and if you wish to buy a Chronos later on, we will throw in the sounds as well, already programmed for you. There are a lot of amazing categories that we designed so specifically for like piano, strings, organs, and stuff like that. Okay. So other than this, we have also, I'll show you some other stuff. Combination. So combinations is made up of layering of sounds, like piano, strings, and all that. I'm going to show you that. It's very interesting because on the program itself, you can actually layer two sounds. By pressing layer, you can actually immediately go to layering. But in the combination, you can combine up to total of 16 instruments. Let's say you like the pads, these pads, and you want to combine with another pad. You want to combine two pianos, you want to add with an electric piano. You can put them together. No need to worry about polyphony and stuff like that. You get, how come the sound never come out kind of thing. Don't worry. You just put your sounds inside. You have all the amazing sounds in one keyboard. So this is going to show you basically how this has been done. So I'm going to show you the patches that are already done. Okay. So I already set up this worship grand piano. So it's made up of piano sounds. So I added some reverb to give a little bit of enhancement to the sound, so a bit more so-called ambience. then slowly I can bring in. Okay, so these pianos, I actually, instead of putting piano pads and all that stuff, I put several pianos inside. So this is basically the grand piano one. So you can hear the biting sound. This is much more mellow. And then this is the much more darker sounding sound. So you can choose the sound you want, or you can even blend any of these three together. Say, okay, I want a bit more brighter in the middle. I have two more somewhere there. So you can add all the three pianos together. Okay, so I also have a few other sounds like piano and pads, basically similar to the piano, but I added pads on top of it. So it's like voices and motion synth. So there are three different pads, motion synth all together with. So you can have like pads first. Nice. Okay, so you can have that. So it's up to you to choose what you want to come out, first, second, or this you decide during your, the band songs and all that. So I have also pads where I layer various pads inside. Nice. So you have all that, different sounds, strings, layers of different strings. So I put that orchestra on top of the string, so you can have like the last ending, like. If you want that. So you have that on the worship strings. And then the organ, of course. And they have bells, different kinds of bells, just in case I don't know what kind of bells I know, blah, blah, so yeah. Okay, first one. Okay, second one. Third one. So you can have all three together. So you got, okay, so you have all the different bells together. So now all the different synth. Okay, and then we have also the lid. So lid, I split it to like left. Can do that as well. Drone. Okay, talking about drone, right? So basically, this keyboard allows you to connect a few other things like NanoPad. So what I did just now was basically, I can actually assign chords onto this, so you can just buy separately. I think it's about $100. You just plug it USB, connect it directly to this NanoPad 2. Then you can play your chords. There are a lot more sounds, and you want to know more, let us know. I'm just gonna. The other thing that basically, can we go back to the? Okay. Just summarize a little bit. This is the sounds that basically is all what we have covered, but not all, but most. Okay. The other thing that I want to share with you is basically the plug and play USB controllers. What basically very important for those who actually use it with the Sunday keys, for example. Excuse me, with your iPad, and you find it okay. Usually the problem with the iPad is not say a problem, but the challenges with the iPad is basically it has only one USB port. It's either USB-C or the Lightning, and that when you have the iPad, you're actually sharing your audio and MIDI. For example, you connect this to a MIDI controller. So how do you send this signal out to the house? So that's the challenge. You need probably a 3.5 out. If it has a 3.0, you need to buy a USB hub, a powered USB hub. You can't use a normal USB hub. You have to buy a powered USB hub. So that's the challenge. But with the Kronos, you can actually integrate. Like just now I did with my laptop is, I use this as an audio interface. So you don't have to worry. Taking your iPad, you're not sure about it, later on you can ask me after the presentation. Take your USB, connect straight to, if there's a USB-C or Lightning, just go straight, you buy the OTG, just plug straight to your iPad, use your Sunday keys, and it allows you to create all those faders using the Kronos. So no problem, you can integrate that using the Kronos and iPad. So it's a very well designed to integrate with your Sunday sounds or the Sunday keys, and maybe your so-called the main stage as well. So that's the beauty of it. And it works as a controller, and of course, these are the three important things that's designed for your Kronos. You can use this also for your Cross as well as the Nautilus. Okay, other than this, I also have created a few sounds, which I think is about 12 different songs. So you don't have to worry about creating, like just now you're in the play, the first one is House of the Lord, already done. So basically how I did is basically done in such that I have piano. Then I have this like, sorry? Oh, sorry. So you have like, on the right will be like, and then here, and I can also add like, and then just probably play the piano. Right? So you can have that all layered for you already. So you just need to ensure the right sound to send to the house. Yeah, with just the fader alone. So very simple. On the right will be the. Okay. So there are other songs as well. Gratitude. So added guitar. You can have like piano. So I have your piano and guitar together. And many more. So there are all the various 12 different worship songs that you can use already preset for you. Okay? Other than this, just now we're mentioning about this. So we have 3 models. One is a 61 key, which is very good for your auxiliary keyboard, second keyboard. 73 is weighted. So if you're looking for weighted keys but smaller, slightly shorter, you can go for the 73 keys. And of course, the 80 key is this, fully weighted. And the way they design the RH3 keys, weighted keys are like heavy at the bottom, lighter at the top, like the real acoustic piano. Yes. So that's basically the Kronos. And we also have the Nautilus series. So the Nautilus series, basically, this one, we don't have enough time to show you, but basically just show you, if you like 100% of the sounds from the Kronos, but at a fraction, I would say lesser price than the Kronos and lesser features, a smaller screen. If you have eyesight like me, then of course you need a bigger screen. If you can handle that small little screen like this, the Nautilus is actually quite similar. What they actually eliminate out is basically the fader. But you can actually integrate the fader via the touchscreen. So instead of having this, because we do have customers who complain basically, like, oh, my fader spoiled because during transportation it, broke. So this will really help because, see, they're also clever. They design this like so that you can protect this from having that issues. So that's basically the Nautilus. So available 2 models right now. So you see the most similar the Kronos 3. So we have the 61 and 88 key, as well as, okay, all right, I'm going to show this. So other than that, if I say, okay, so Mike, I already have the sounds ready, you know, the one that you gave me, and you want more sounds. Generally, Koch has another, they work with another third-party company. They call it the K Sounds. So they also have, this is based in US. So they also have sound libraries, which you can also purchase it directly. It's only $50 USD. So you can buy online and then download it. If you're not sure how to download it, you just let me know. You can just buy it and then download it, and then we can help you to also to install the sounds for you. Okay, so these are additional sounds if you can take for future. You want to do a lot more sounds. And if you say that, okay, oh, I only leave this keyboard in my church, and I don't have a keyboard at home. No problem. Then buy another one. Okay, just kidding. So don't worry, because basically what you can do is you store your sounds. Okay, you basically store your sounds. Of course, you don't get to enjoy the sounds at home, but at least whatever that you have edited, you have changed, save it under your name. You know, I say Mike, okay, save it under Mike. So I know I come, I know for the next service, put this inside. Okay, look for Mike. So that's basically my sounds. You know, my choice of sounds. It's like, oh, that's your sound. Wow, can I have? So you can, share among your friends and your keyboard players. Okay. Okay, so we're running out of time. So we have the cross too. It's the last one. Basically, is 61 keys for aux keyboard. This is for those who actually have a very, very budget constraint or thinking I don't want to spend so much money. It has amazing sounds altogether. It has over thousands of sounds. Very intuitive, very easy. It's all by category. So if you don't know, like, I want to find pads, you cannot find. Very easy. Down here you got pad. Just go to pad. You already know the various pads that you can find, various strings you can find, and strings and all that. Very intuitive. So that's basically the cross 2. And then we have 2 models. So if you're looking for a second keyboard, go for the 61. If you're looking for main keyboard as a piano, a stage piano, then you go for the 88 keys. So that's basically it. All right. So now I'll share you the goodies. Because we have the promo till 31st August 2026 for you guys only. Okay. So if you're not sure, you can ask us. No problem. So we're having a 10% off for all the Kronos 3 series, the new models, it's on 10%. This one I wait longer. Okay, longer. Can some more longer? Okay, just kidding. Okay, so we have the Nautilus going at 20% off. So we have the Nautilus AT. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Nautilus AT basically has the aftertouch. So if you're looking for, some people say, I don't need aftertouch. Aftertouch is like extra. If you need that, so you go for the aftertouch. If not, then just buy the normal Nautilus. Then that's a normal Nautilus price. Okay, so that's the 61. So if you're looking for a second keyboard, like for example, John, our Lighthouse evangelist bought actually the Nautilus 61 because they were looking for something more affordable for second keyboard. So apparently, because we don't have that 1000 tier, so if you're looking for made in Japan, this is basically made in Japan. Nautilus is also made in Japan. So this is made in Japan that you can tahan for a very, very long time. So this has a very quality, it comes with 1 year warranty anyway. Okay, so we have also the 88 version if you're looking for a little bit more budgeted with the piano. And of course, but last but not least, is the Cross entry level. These are battery operated. So I got friends who actually bring this out to third world country, and bring this out because it's battery operated. So you can actually gig around, anywhere without having the power source. Go to third world country, they are on missionary, so just bring that to another third world country whenever and play along with that keyboard. So you have this. So we have the white color, which is a bit more, and of course the 88 version, also running on 6 AA size alkaline batteries. Okay, so later on I'm going to show you this arranger keyboard. Remember we were talking about, if a one-man band, for those who actually don't have a full band, and you find that it's very challenging to play one person, everybody looking at you, and then try to play, and then it's like shiver. So this is also very important because not everybody can play, like what Patricia mentioned, you need to take fundamental music courses and all that. These are really simple, which later Victor going to show you this. Okay? Okay, so you have any questions? My name is Mike, and this is our email address. You want to find out more, you want to ask more questions, you can email to us, either sales or mikestimusic.com.sg. Okay, so other than this, we also do installation for churches. We also do podcasts, live streaming, and many more. So if you wish to get some consultation or solutions, let us know. We can provide that as well. Okay? Anyway, thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions regarding any of the keyboards, or you feel that if your church needs a keyboard, an upgrade, right? You want to upgrade the sound, please do talk to us. We have a table over there. If you guys can come and talk to us, let us know what the challenges you're facing at church. You know how we can actually improve your sound, upgrade your sound for you. Please talk to us. We got a whole slew of products and services here. So keyboards is just one of them, right? This is just one of them only. Then we got professional sound systems. We got Martin guitars. I think when you walked in, you saw so we got 167 Martin guitars on display. We got electric guitars and everything. We got a whole slew of stuff. So kind of talk to us. Myself, I'm Lionel. You can talk to my colleagues Kamal and Timothy as well. We got Mr. Edward as well. Kind of talk to us and let us know your challenges and see if we can help you to find a solution to your problems.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, put your hand together for TK. TK, I leave you alone.
Yes, can.
If you do have any questions, not to worry, he will answer most of your questions. Okay?
No worries.
So I'm going to pass this mic around later. If you have any questions, I'll pass this mic around and you can ask questions. Okay? I'll be around here.
Okay. Ken, okay, I think with this part, we just keep it a bit more interactive. Okay, so any point of time you've got any questions or anything, there's a bit more product specific. I think I'll leave it to the experts here. But I think today, doesn't matter which church you're from, I think we just have some very quick tips and tricks for all keyboardists. So maybe just for me to understand you a bit more, right? Who usually plays the first keys or who plays the second keys over here? First keys. Also, most of us are playing the second keys. Is it so everyone else is second keys? Huh? Then everyone else is from what instrument? so okay, but everyone is a keyboardist here, correct? Okay, Ken. So I'll just share. See, what I have in front of me is the cross, and the very first time actually I played it was when I was quite young, and when it comes to using chord instruments, it's not something that was unfamiliar to me. So growing up in church, one of the first few keyboards that we used were also the chords that we also have. So whenever I look at keyboard, it always brings me back to the younger days in church where we are using it for practice sessions as well as on stage as well. And the most recent time I used this was actually a collaboration that I did with City Music, where they actually loaned me one of this cross, and I was using it for one of the events in church. So this church event was actually in a car park, in a basement. It's a car park basement where we have pretty much it's kind of like a fundraising dinner kind of thing. So I needed to kind of have an instrument that is super portable, battery operated, and with the lights, I think it's quite nice in the dark in front, right? So that was something that we used, and the use case back then was a lot more on the pad sounds. So today I'll be focusing a little bit more on the pad sounds and what really worked for me at that point of time. So a lot of times we, as second keyboardists, right, we always feel like we need to have a lot of different kinds of sounds. We need to have a lot of different kinds of effects and all that, which is true, maybe 30% of the time. The other percent of the time, you just need to make sure that you are able to kind of support whatever that is happening in a team. I kind of think of it, if you all remember me, I talk about how it's like the fairy lights, right, of the Christmas tree. So if it's played well, I think it's not very noticeable. But when you stop playing, you see, I've been playing it for the past 8 seconds. Your ears are already kind of tuned to it, right? But the minute I stop playing, you see that it's this emptiness, very awkward emptiness, right? So that's the idea as a second keyboardist. You want to kind of make sure that we are kind of there, not there. And when I was using the cross in the worship setting back then, I wasn't using Sunday sounds because I just needed something that I can just plug and play with the pad sounds inside. So to me, the pad sounds was something that a bit, they struck me a little bit more. So when I was using this pad sound, which is the dark brass pad, I can basically also play with the high pass filter as well. So at certain times I need it to be a bit louder to kind of cut through the mix a little bit more, or just increase it a little bit. But if I really need it to be really quiet, I'll just make sure it's really low over here. And when it comes to also using pads, sounds on cross, a few tips that I found out to be really useful, and it's not just for keyboards as well, but it's a positioning towards a second keyboardist, is that I try my best to make sure that whatever I play can bring a certain, like, add value to the team. So what I mean by that is that, for example, if I'm usually playing in the C3, C4 region, then I might potentially face a fight with my bass guitarist if I continue to always, play in that region. So I tend to make sure that everyone has their own role and all that. So also as a worship trainer, as a worship team dynamics trainer, I always talk about this idea of the triangle of sound. And this triangle of sound talks about, so whenever we talk about triangle, you have the highest point and you have the breathiest part, right? So the highest point of triangle, you have your highest frequency sounds. You have your crash cymbals, you have your EG ones, you have all those very sharp sounds, all the way down to your bass guitars, your floor toms, your kicks. And the middle range will be everything in between, right? So the role of that second keyboardist is to make sure that that triangle is nicely seated, in that whole region so that you can really gel every instrument there nicely together. And the biggest thing that I've learned, apart from using the drone setting, like what Mike showed us just now, is that when you have something going in the background as a drone, that is already one sound that is producing by itself. So the value starts to come in if you add in your chimes, your synths, all these other different strings kind of sound. Another thing I wanted to share was strings. So when I was using the string sound, if you all can see the stereo strings, the lush strings, all this. So I always have personal preference. I always like something that's a bit slower, like the attack is a bit slower so that it imitates almost like a real orchestra. So another thing as a second keyboardist that I usually tell people that I play with or tell the people that I'm teaching or working with is that as a second keyboardist, you need to learn not just the sounds that you want to use, but the etymology, what actually made the sound that you hear. So for example, the strings, when you go back to the whole idea of the string, it's basically almost like an orchestra on your fingers, right? So in an orchestra, what do you have? You have your double basses, you have your cellos, you have your lower strings and all that. Then you move out your violas, your second violins, your first violins and all that. So I'm not sure if you all have been to like SSO concerts or like any of those orchestra, but you can see that whenever it's a full orchestra, there's a lot of different instruments, a lot of different violins playing. So whenever I'm using string sounds, I always tend to make sure that I can bring out that sound a little bit more realistically, right? So what I mean by that is, do you think if this is an 88 key, then if I play something like super high, I don't think it's going to be registered as a very, very real sound because there's only that high a violin can go, and there's only that low a double bass can go as well. So I usually try to make sure that I study a little bit what makes the sound a sound. So for strings, the sound is produced when what? The bow up and down, right? When the bow, touch against the string, then it vibrates. Then when there's an open vibration, that's where the sound is being produced. Which means that when I kind of play something like this, I have to make sure that I visually can bring out that element. And what that means is that I maybe will have to release my pedal a bit slower. Because if I have to create that whole very legato feeling, then it cannot just be like a, right? Unless the whole string is like, pizzicatoing and all that kind of things. So it goes back to the true nature of the instruments, and I think it's something that that worship night, I use it in a fundraising when we use a string. It also brought about some very realistic sound for me personally as well. So try it. Usually what I do is that maybe my fingers, I'll be a little bit more sensitive to it, which means that I will let go a bit slower. Because if I were to play like how I'll play for a piano, then it will just make it. But compared to the strings, you have to make sure that you have a very nice kind of like room for the strings to pull down. Then when it's kind of like almost at the end to the bow, it goes back up again. So you can see that's how you can move along with it as well. And I think that's one of the main things I also talked about whenever it comes to using strings. Okay, the next one is your synths, right? So for synths, it's a totally different ballgame because you can't play strings like how you play piano unless you want to get scolded by your worship leader or like your music directors. Or you also can't play your strings like you can't play your synths like your strings because the whole idea of a synth is to really cut through that sound, right? It's a synthetic instrument, that sound that is really created by a lot of distortions, a lot of different kinds of like sound waves and all that. So again, the nature of the synth is the primary role really is to support the lead lines, the riffs. For example, this is Amazing Grace. You all can hear. So when it comes to this kind of support, that's where the synths will also play a bit more, which means that when I play the second keys, I usually maybe just play one hand on the synths. I won't try to play a bit. I won't try to play a bit. I won't try to do a lot on the synths because I want to just make sure that I have a lot, like whatever I need when it comes to the lead lines that I need to play. Which one is it? I can't remember which one is it. Yeah. So if I have a lead line like that, then I'll just focus on playing that. Then maybe for the rest of the song, I'll just go back to maybe a low pass filter on the pads, or I can have a synth pad or a synth sound that is a bit darker in nature, and I can just rise it back up to the high pass, and it works for me for different parts of the song. One thing for synths is that whatever library you see here has already shown you what are the different types of sounds that you can get from a second keys, especially in a worship team setting, right? Whenever you have like a fast song or like an upbeat song, it's almost natural that you have to use your strings, your synths, and all your ups and things like that. So a lot of times you just need to make sure you understand what sound is required for the song. Then you go back to your machine, whether is it coming from the stock sounds here or is it the additional sounds you see from Sunday keys, and try to find where's the intersection layer, right? Because this sound, whatever I had from the strings just now, it was pretty good, right? The legato string was pretty good. But if I wanted something more that I can layer with, I can find either something from the pads over here, or I can layer it with the sounds from Sunday keys. And that will give me a very nice balance. And with the faders and all that, you can also do the adjustments from there as well. So, okay, I think it's just very, very quick sharing from my side when it comes to chorus. Can I ask them if they have any questions or anything?
Yes, please.
Okay, if any questions,
Any
please.
questions for TK? Oh, very shy. No question? So, if not, then he'll still be around. TK, you'll be around till like midnight?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
I'm just kidding. So he'll be around later until the end of the event. So, oh yeah, okay.
Get a better sound.
Sorry, come again?
What if our church don't have a second key? So what can we do to get a better sound on keyboard? Yeah.
What church is this? If I can just no, I'm just kidding. So I think when it comes to and I think it's a very real situation, right? My own church didn't have a second keys until like 5 years ago. So there was a period of my church life that we had to use like bass guitar on the left hand and then strings and like on like 2 tiers and double tiers there. So if you are the only keyboardist in a band, then look at layerings. Layering is going to be your most important thing. So layer, always start off with the most important thing, your piano sound. Then make sure you have 2 or 3 more layers, either a warm pad or a strings. So very realistically, for slow songs, I'll just keep it to piano and pad, for example. For a bit faster song, a bit more louder parts, I'll add the strings layer as well. Even for fast songs, you can use pads and strings as well. So when you play with layers, it's not just much about adding the layer, but the volume of the layers as well. So usually the numerical value is 127, right, for each of like the layers. Piano should always be at 127. Pads, I'll keep it to maybe around 35, 40. Then strings will be maybe another 40, depending on the song. Then you adjust the levels from there. Yeah, so layers is the answer. Correct.
Any other questions? No? Okay. We have one more.
Asking for the chord chronos, you mentioned that you can use the Sunday keys to connect to it as a controller. So does it mean that the sliders, is that like connected to the Sunday keys?
You have to map it lah.
So can map it?
You have to map it. Oh, it's already pre-mapped already, is it? Oh.
So that means once you connect your Sunday keys on the iPad to the Chronos, it's all like, map out.
The output is from the Chronos or from the iPad? Sorry? The output, you normally get it from the iPad, right? Can you get the output from the Chronos as well? Okay.
So you get the output now from the Chronos. So you just connect your iPad, you do all the integration on the iPad, but the audio output comes from the Chronos. And you just need to assign it as external. There's a button called external. All your 8 pads will be assigned for your Sunday keys. That's how easy it is now for the Chronos 3. And not only that, you can actually use both sound. That means your Chronos sound, you still want to use the Chronos sound, say on channel 1. And if maybe you like the piano on the Chronos 1, and then you like the pads on the Sunday keys, for example. So you can also integrate that on the Chronos. You can select external or internal. So in other words, you don't need a MIDI interface. Yes, it is actually a MIDI interface sound.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So I guess, okay, I think time is also right now. They already tell me about time. Anyway, TK, anything last you want to show the audience? Any secrets?
Secrets?
Sherry?
No, I think the secret was answered by one of the question just now. So I really think that every single instrument out here has its own merit, and it's really up to your personal preference. And there's always been the long argument, right? Like, should we use stock sounds or should we use Sunday keys? But I really feel that the answer, there is an intersection point between those two, because I'm doing that myself. I might not like all the sounds on just one particular keyboard. I might not like all the sounds. Okay, so anyway, is this recorded, by the way? Because I'm about to say something that... So for Sunday sound keys, the keyboard are not the best, okay? The pianos in Sunday. So usually what I really do is that I appreciate their pad sounds and all that. But when their pad sounds, let's say, is layered together with the dark swell pad that you heard just now, it creates a very unique kind of sound. And sometimes the sound here, you can also do some tweaking. Because one of the things that I also realized is that when we talk about sound layers, not every single layer needs to sound good by itself, right? When we talk about the entire pad stack, you just need to make sure that the pad stack sound good. But individually, if they sound a bit awkward on their own, I think it's good, because that gives you space to work with the different kinds of sound as well. So go and explore the different kinds of sounds you have over here and see where you can be and jam everything together into something that works for you.
Thank you very much, TK. Once again, a round of applause for TK, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Such a very fruitful sharing. I believe also it's an eye-opener to many of us, how you can actually integrate your pads, your strings, and the Sunday sounds, and the Sunday keys, while they are actually doing the changes. So before we invite Mr. Victor, a very interesting story from Mr. Victor later you're going to share with us. So another question is usually I encounter is like, okay, because I'm a keyboard player myself. I've been playing for 30 years. So people come to me and say, Mike, I mean, it's like I'm going to play like me. How? So of course you have to do blah blah. So I mean, you have to play 30 years, then you can play like that. So I mean, there are many good players in the industry. And of course, for me, it's just my job is to sell lah. So my job is to sell you. That's why I try my best to impress you lah. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so generally there are keyboards basically who they are designed for very easy performance. You don't have to worry about like, okay, I need to play these chords. I got to add the major 9. I got to add that little bit of but how I don't know. But I was tasked to actually play the keyboard in my church, for example, and you have this challenge, and there's always these two problems. A lot of those people who play classical, they play classical and they want to play church music, and they find it like, I don't know how to read chords, for example. So again, this is a very challenging situation. But not to worry, because I believe there are many schools, like one of our partners we work with is Believer Music, so you can look for them. They actually provide amazing courses for you to start your journey in the worship as a keyboard player. You can look for them, Believer Music. I think they're located at one at Commonwealth, they're located one at International Plaza.
Is it connected to Sussex?
Yeah. So I think something that you can consider. And also for those who actually say, oh, I only know how to play like, left hand kind of thing, or maybe 2 notes and 3 notes. Not to worry. This is where Victor will be here to share the music journey on people who wants to have a nice music for your worship. Okay. Are you ready, Victor?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to start first or... Okay, maybe we share this journey. So, Victor, okay, before that, let's round of applause for Mr. Victor. Okay. He's one of my favorite customer because he buys a lot of my PA keyboard. Huh? Oh, yeah,
your favorite also.
Yeah, he'll come only, he'll buy few keyboards.
Oh.
But that's,
I'm not so rich.
Yeah?
I'm not so rich.
But anyway, this is something that he has shared with me. Yeah, and I was like, wow. Okay.
Okay, Vic, any questions?
Okay, yeah, before I start, right? Before you start, generally, why do you buy so many of these PA5X keyboard?
Because of you. Not really, okay. So, I'm like, can I share my experience?
Yes, of
yeah,
course.
so, as a music in charge for Chinese churches, we have this frustration. This Sunday, I don't have a pianist. Another Sunday, I don't have a guitarist. I always, the frustration's always there. So until I get to know this keyboard, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the keyboard. Huh? Yeah. So until I found this arrangers, all of a sudden, it started with a new music era. I don't need any musician anymore. So they hated me so much now. Yeah, because when I upstate there, I don't need that. I said, 你们可以回家了.
Any drummers in the house? No drummer. Well, lucky, out of job already.
Yeah, so it changes my music journey. It's really a different. So right now I'm helping out in 8 churches here. These 8 churches, they always have problems at finding musicians. So when I put it up, I one-man show, OMO, settle everything ready. Yeah. It's not that I don't need a musician, all right? I didn't say that. Yeah, okay. But this keyboard is so fantastic that, it has all the programs, everything, like a simple worship. It just with this keyboard, of course, you don't need to buy. This is the highest end PA5X, which is how much? Which is maybe 6,000. Oh, yeah. Okay, you don't need to start with that expensive keyboard, all right? But as you go on, then you'll fall in love with this keyboard because you can do a lot of programming. It's not just playing. So today, okay, welcome to Uncle Victor Lee's session, all right? So I'm different with them. They are all professional. They call me Uncle Victor, right? Because I'm old enough. And right now, they don't call me musician because they hated me so much. And they call me keyboard operator. I don't know this is an insult or this is a compliment, but who cares? Yeah.
To get the music, right?
Correct, a song, okay?
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it to Mr. Victor here to show you. Thank you.
Welcome to Church of City. Hey, sorry. Sing along with me. Now this is City Church. We don't care about him. I sing. You want it good. So to use this keyboard, you need 2 requirements. First requirement is your left hand must have 3 fingers working. Come on, okay? And then your right hand, at least 1 finger. But you can use 5 fingers, that's a bonus, all right? So don't worry, I'm a C key musician, but this is a secret. Please don't tell other people. I only play C key. I don't play any other key. Because there's a feature called transpose. You want to play G, all you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Until you see -5, you can play it. But I tell you, nobody knows. Nobody. When you press, don't let people know, right? You don't like that, then people know they transpose already. You can program it. So all you need to do is just press the start button. See, I want to have a start button. And then you press relax, all right? Relax. I'm a keyboard operator, Uncle Victor Lee, please remember. And then you can just press synchronize start, see? You can dance. Relax. You can run. Sing to along. Church of City. I sing praises to your name. Oh Lord, praises to your name. For your name is good. I sing praises to your name. Oh Lord, praises to your name. Oh Lord, for your name is great and greatly to be praised. You want more? You say, you also can feel. I sing praises to your name. Oh Lord, praises to your name. Oh Lord, for your name is great, is greatly to be praised. I sing praises to your For your name is great and greatly to be praised. Sop it out. For your name is great and greatly to be praised. Can I finish at 9 o'clock? Because they enjoy very much. Really. For your name is great and greatly to be praised. Let's give God the glory. See, Mr. Silver. Simple, right? Thank you. Okay. I don't do hard sales, but if you need any assistance from me, it's free of charge. Can I? My free of charge, can I? Right? Thank you. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, round of applause for Mr. Victor B. Okay, so now you're mentioning about, wow, this is so expensive. Of course, not to worry, because we have, okay, so this is like what, driving license. Everybody have the same driving license, right? Class 3 driving license.
Can I go back this way? Yeah, sure.
Not everybody will drive a Ferrari, correct? This is like a Ferrari. Or a Tesla, lah. Okay, this is like a Tesla. Not everybody wants to buy a Tesla because it's very expensive. Some probably, decide to go for BYD, for example. So you can buy a BYD, but you same driving license. So the same way, it's just that basically the price that you pay for $5,000, you get a $5,000 sound. You buy a $3,000 sound, $3,000, you get a $3,000 sound. So the idea is basically just left hand chords, right hand melody. And you have all the amazing rhythms on board just by one finger, So that's basically the beauty of the Arranger keyboard. The most important is to deliver the song, in your worship. So if you're looking for a one-man band, so these are the arrangers, which they call it the professional arranger, containing or consists of all the amazing, powerful sounds of the Koch engine. Okay? On behalf of City Music, I would like to thank everybody for coming down to City Music. For those who are actually first time here, so we are City Music, and we have an amazing team. So if you want to know more about products and all that, we have an amazing team. You see how we work together. We work as a team. So I got a beautiful team over here. And not only that, we also do, other than selling musical instruments, we also do installation for speakers, sound system for worship. We also do
everything, man.
Everything. That's why I was speechless.
I'll dance like Uncle TK for a small fee.
Yeah. Yes, and also for those who actually you tend to have the idea of purchasing, intention to purchase any of these keyboards, we are offering free, not free keyboard, stop dreaming. Yeah, free basic training. That means we will help you to actually, like, we can have, Mike, can you program for me some sounds, or can you show me how to blah, blah, blah. We will do that free training one time only. Don't call me like every week and then every day come down here and say, Mike, you teach me not? Then tomorrow, no, cannot lah.
And for those who don't like to go for training, Mike has taken the liberty to program 82 presets for you already.
Yeah.
All in, you'll be loaded into the Kronos, the Cross. When you purchase it, it will be there for you.
Thank you. I got more white hair coming. Okay. But anyway, we started with the Kronos 3, and we also developed that onto the Nautilus as well as the Cross 2 as well. And FYI, for the PA5X, we'll be installing the Chinese instrument, as I mentioned, proudly to say it is locally done by our local lovely musicians from the Chinese orchestra. So we have like erhu, guchen, pipa, and many more other instruments that's incorporated onto the PA5.
Yes, and this is only exclusive in Singapore,
right?
Not anywhere else in the region, right? So if you purchase any one of this, especially the PA5X, you will have the SG sounds preloaded when you purchase it, ready to use.
Okay. And of course, free training.
Huh?
Free training if they want to.
Training as well. Training as well.
Okay.
I think that's important, the training part, right?
Sometimes
when you buy a first keyboard, then you're like, wow, so many things have to menu dive and everything. It can be a bit daunting.
Yeah.
But for like we expertise on mic, you just run through, teach you how to go through it, how to get past it. After a while, you'll be there, Uncle DK already. You can dance.
Yeah, you see, that's why it's easy.
Yeah.
I wish I can dance like him.
I cannot. Okay.
Okay. Oh, by the way, before that, so if you have any inquiries, so we have a QR code for you to just, I know we Singaporeans, we are very shy people. Like me, I'm also very shy. So generally, we always like, after finishing, then go, yeah, I want to look for him, no problem. So if just in case, you also need to email us and contact us separately or through your church, no problem. We have also, you can just QR code on inquiries or feedback. If you want to know more about anything that you think that is related to what we are selling or what we are providing, let us know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. Especially if today you want to maybe you already decided, I want to buy a Kronos. I want to buy a Kronos 3, I want to buy a PA5X. Come and talk to us. No, you don't have to buy it today. Let us know that you're interested. Let us know, then let us get your name, contact number, email address. We can touch with you whenever it's convenient for you. Then we'll speak to you more about the keyboards.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be official, so that's why probably from the procurement side I have to email to you. So
yes.
You can look for us, no problem.
Yeah, definitely we'll work hand in hand with you to help you achieve an upgrade for your setup. Congratulations to you guys for being part of the biggest crowd we had at an event.
Wow.
We also did. You're also involved in the biggest crowd that stayed all the way till the end.
Wow.
Also the crowd that stand up and dance and cheer.
Wow.
You guys beat the record. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much.
You guys are awesome. Funny face. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. If you'd like to know anything more about our keyboards for Koh or any of our products, please, we have a inquiry table over there. You guys can head over there.
Thank you so much, everyone. I would like also thank the City Music team, my sales team, or the marketing team for making all possible. And not forgetting everyone, thank you so much. Have a very good evening, and we see you again. Thank you so much.